Good day. Welcome to another edition of Ibuma Mungo's Perspective on Global Affairs. Before we continue, I'd like you to press the like button so that we can get the algorithm going. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. We need to get the viewership to increase and the subscription to increase. The plant I have behind me is in a city called Taylor, Texas. It is the Samsung plant. This is one of the biggest construction sites in America today. Samsung is building a $17 billion plant here in Taylor, Texas. And this plant is part of America's strategy to reshore manufacturing, especially advanced manufacturing, back to America. It is a very comprehensive strategy. It is a strategy that has made America to have the legislation that will facilitate this. So for semiconductors, the legislation that is facilitating it is the CHIPS Act. It's a Biden-era act. So what Biden did is he created a federal policy whereby companies like Samsung that bring back manufacturing and come and open manufacturing plants in America will now have access to American funding, like some form of subsidy. For Samsung, for this particular plant here, they have been given $6 billion so far. The total package of in that CHIPS Act is supposed to be somewhere in the region of $50 to $60 billion. There are plants like this being built all across America. But the most notable is that being built by TSMC. We should know that TSMC is the biggest producer of advanced chips in the whole world. TSMC is a Taiwanese company. And because TSMC is responsible for well over 100% of all the advanced manufacturing regarding semiconductor chips in the world, America saw a vulnerability if ever China decides to attack Taiwan and cut off semiconductor chips to American companies. So there's a TSMC plant going on now in Arizona. There's also Intel building a plant like this in Ohio. Reshoring manufacturing to America has been a Biden era, both a Biden and a Trump era policy to make sure that America is not vulnerable. And in these days when now China is the most veritable competitor to America, its ability to manufacture several advanced materials and advanced goods means that America needs to start to learn again to go back to a domain that it once used to control, manufacturing. This effort to get South Korean, Japanese, and even Taiwanese companies to come back to America and start to manufacture here is a whole suite of policies, because it also involves building out supply chains and building out skills. One of the big vulnerability we saw recently with the semiconductor plant being built in Arizona is that it got delayed for so many years because of one simple fact. The Taiwanese said that they were finding it hard to get skilled manpower for the plant. So far now they are training, and that skilled manpower, because we should remember that semiconductor manufacturing used to be an American thing, but now it's mainly in the hand of the Asians, and because of that, they have to relearn it. So in that process of trying to relearn how to build out these plants, it's now a problem for America. And one of the main things in reskilling is that they are finding out policies to support skill development. They are using different strategies, some in the community colleges level, some in the college level, some even as far as going into high schools. So this city I am in is called Taylor, Texas. It's a small community, 17,000 in population, and it's mainly agricultural, it's farming and cattle rearing. But smack in the middle of it is this $17 billion investment. This investment is almost ultimately going to grow into 40 billion because they are going to expand. There is a big possibility for them to expand, especially in these days of AI. One of the things about Texas we should know is that Texas is very, very friendly towards industry, and Texas has become a very big manufacturing hub, especially advanced manufacturing. And the city, particularly the city of Austin, has become a very big magnet. In Austin already, Samsung already has a plant. Samsung has a plant that does legacy chips, 14 nanometers to 28 nanometer chips. That one there. But this plant here is an advanced one, the one that will be doing 4 nanometer chips. In fact, they even count themselves to being able to do 3 nanometer chips. But going forward, I've talked to some of the management here in this plant here, and they were worried. They were worried that despite the fact that they will be reshoring and building this very big, huge, humongous plant, they didn't have clients. For a long while, they were worried about clients because the biggest consumer of the kind of chips that they produce is supposed to be Apple. It's supposed to be Nvidia. But these companies have no facility in America and do none of their production in America. So they were really, really worried. But recently, things have kicked up in this plant for one simple reason. And it is a man who has inserted himself so forcefully into the Texas manufacturing plane, and that is Elon Musk. Elon Musk signed a contract, a $16 billion contract with Samsung recently, so that they will build out a chip. I think he calls it the OA5 and OA6 chips. He wants to be building data GPUs, the kind of chips that Nvidia produces, because he too now has gone into the AI space, the artificial intelligence space, and he's building his own data centers, and he has designed his own chips, and he has given Samsung a lifeline. One of the things we should also know about Elon Musk is that just down the road there in a city called down in Texas, in a city called Del Valle, he has the biggest gigafactory, his biggest plant in America. The gigafactory is just down the road. One of these days, I'll do a story on that one. So he's there now. He's very much a part of Texas and Austin particularly. In another city down the road there, he has a place called Bastrop. In a city called Bastrop, he has SpaceX, and that's Starlink. That's where he manufactures a Starlink plants, and that's where he also has the headquarters of X. If you watch my X review, it's actually from that facility there in Bastrop. He has moved it away from California, so he is very much a presence in Texas, and he gave them a lifeline now. Construction has moved, and they're expecting to start production in by December of 2025 or early part of 2026. But something happened with TSMC recently. TSMC actually produced their first chips in their Arizona plant. But it was very surprising. TSMC had to move those chips that they had made in Arizona to Taiwan so that they can complete packaging. It just shows that the whole value chain is not yet back in America. I don't know what's going to happen with this plant here, but this plant is one of the several manufacturing facilities being built around that has made Texas a big manufacturing hub. But why is Texas a manufacturing hub? I'll tell you. Texas is a darling space for data centers and plants like this because Texas produces the most amount of electricity in America. They produce renewable energy. They produce energy from gas, and they also have a plan now to build out 175 new gas turbine plants. If you are from a third world country where it takes a big debate to be able to even produce one, gas turbine plant. But in Texas here, they have a plan to roll out 150 of them, not adding the existing. So Texas has a lot of electricity, and that has become a big attraction for data centers. It has become a big attraction for manufacturing, and it has become one of the great strengths of Texas. Already we know that even China, that America is trying to compete with, one of its biggest competitive advantage is low energy prices per capita, and collectively they produce a lot of energy, and that is the real reason why China is very competitive. China is attractive to many European companies. China is also attractive to data center builders and manufacturing. It is very important that you have electricity. Electricity is one of Texas' strengths. They can always put out, and they are still building out. They are still building out. So this plant here, it tells us where America wants to go. Donald Trump is really in the mix of it. As I'm making this video now, Donald Trump is in South Korea. It will be in South Korea, but he's in ASEAN now. He's in Malaysia now. He's in Asia, let me put it. And he's having a meeting with Xi Jinping. One of the biggest problems regarding that meeting is that he wants better deals with China. But China is playing the rare earth game. And the only reason they can play the rare earth game is that semiconductor plants have a lot of requirements for rare earth. America's biggest ability to put leverage on China has been that's this same semiconductor domain. But they know that their biggest partner had always been the Dutch, ASML, the one who produces the ultraviolet lithography machines that they use in extreme ultraviolet lithography machines that they use in these plants, ASML and the TSMC who produce most of it. But that creates a very big vulnerability for America, and America wants it back in America. Presidents want it back in America. They've put these plants. They are building them out. One is in Ohio. One is even in, they also have another one in upstate New York. But this that we're seeing here is one of the biggest projects in America, and it's just very close to where I live. And every day I drive by it, I feel very privileged to be seeing it start from. I started to see this plant from when it was cleared from, it was cornfields at first, to now it is a fully developed plant with so many catalytic units, many units for, it's such a complex thing because they have had to do so many things and to try and build the plant. And one of the things that they're doing now is that the impact of the plant on the community has meant that they have a lot of community relationships. They are also contributing to the ISA. In America here, we have what we call the ISA, who will approve you're taking part in building out in a community will be the independent school district. So they have deals with the independent district. It's going to be a big shot for the community here. It's a big shot already for Austin. It's a big shot for Texas, and it's a big shot for America. Samsung has reached this tent, and Elon Musk has helped furthering that, continuing to strengthen America's resilience as a manufacturing hub, as it tries to make sure that it reshores. At least let it be in the advanced manufacturing plane, while it will figure out how it's going to continue to bring down complete suite of manufacturing back to America. This is where I end my video for today. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you have any views regarding the opinions I just expressed, please put them in the comment section. I'll continue to do more of these outside engagements, like I've said, until I see you in my next video. You have a good day.